I just want to talk about Duck King for a second. Obviously, he's coming out in just a couple of days. 27th of August should be pretty hype. But no, a lot of people are looking forward to this character, which it's surprised me actually. Duck King's got a lot of fans. He's got a lot of fans across the globe, it seems. And I mean, how could you not? Look at him dance. Look at him break it down. And I'm gonna break him down, right? I mainly want to talk about him for his like competitive viability. I think a lot of people were like hoping that he's going to be relatively strong, you know, to combat all the karates. And after, especially Rick released a little bit undertuned, maybe. I think he's still decent, but you know, definitely no Mr. Karate. Hard to keep up with that though. But I think Duck King, yeah, he's interesting. I think he's going to feel a little weaker to most people because he doesn't play See the Wolves in the same way as other characters. You know, I think his normals leave a lot to be desired. I mean, this Farsi's pretty damn good, right? 11 frames, not too bad. It's cancelable. It's cancelable. Well, let me backdash. Yeah, so it's fast. It's a cancelable. It's only 33 frames total duration, but the hitbox is quite low down, as you can see. You're gonna get caught by people trying to hop a lot. Body is 8 frames, very fast, quite active. 32 frames total, but the range is not amazing. But, you know, being cancelable is a big deal. I think the big disappointment is probably his lights. I think having good lights in See the Wolves is extremely important. And for Duck King, you know, he's got the 7 frame far away, which is never good. You normally want like a 5 frame far away that like, it does hit decently far and it has extended block stun. You can frame trap with other things that you otherwise couldn't. But, you know, his far B is his 5 frame, which is good. It's cancelable as well. But the range, again, leaves a lot to be desired. But, you know, I think this is okay. For a cancelable button, it's fine at 5 frames especially. That being your far B, it's not like mashable, which feels weird as a 5 frame. Your 2-way is going to be your 5 frame mesh, which again, quite short range. But, you know, you can always chain into far A, and that's always going to connect. I think for me, whenever I'm looking at a character's viability, let's say, I want them to have a 2B at like tip range into a normal. Unfortunately, Duck King doesn't really have that. He does have 2B close B, but he doesn't have that into his otherwise close normal that would combo. So even if you cross up with his JC, you can't do it, right? They still get pushed back too far from this 2B, which this is definitely a problem, right? I think you have to be up close to catch people low, which can be a bit of a problem for a lot of characters. But he does have this knee slide, which is as low. And as you can see there, you can space it plus enough to actually combo on a regular hit. You can get it meaty enough. You got to be pretty precise with the spacing. But if you're hyped up, you actually don't need to do that at all, which is good. You know, it's a good incentive to stop people running away. And again, it's quite easy to make this meaty, especially on a lot of knockdown setups. And this is going to be really one of the things you're going to look for as playing Duck King. So I think those are his weaknesses. I think that's a big weaknesses of his are his normals, his lights, his far buttons are just not that good. But his special moves are pretty juiced. His special moves are pretty juiced. I mean, I just gotta talk about his animations for a second. Like, this is S tier. Like, this shit is the funniest jump normal I think I've seen in a long time. It's very active, as you can see. Crosses up too. This is like, while his normals on the ground are not great, this is like gonna be a pretty big cornerstone of your neutral, to be honest. Because it just hits everywhere. You're gonna air to air and win most air to air exchanges. Very funny move. Very funny move. And his JD is pretty decent too. It's kind of mid, but you know, and then obviously the jump lights, they'll fulfill the role. This can also cross up, right? Nothing too crazy. His back walk as well, like the back step, this is a funny ass animation. You can hold it basically for longer, but the idea is it's still a normal back step. Like, it's 24 frames total duration, which I think is basically in line with most people's. Most people's like 23, but you can cancel it on the 23rd frame into this attack, or this will hit on the 23rd frame, I should say. Which is not very useful, but it looks hilarious and it is cancelable, so that's a good thing. So his special moves are kind of where he's at. He's got his juice, right? He has a DP, which is very good. It is DP break. It is -3 though compared to the -2, which is a little bit worse, and it's quite slow at 9 frames, right? But it's quite a generous hitbox because it's got this like floor splash hitbox. You see that? So you can actually pick up from decently far, not like quite that far, but also means he's got a regular DP. This is invincible, which is very big. Obviously, it's going to be 5 frames. It's going to be a big part. And he does have this EX DP as well, which very integral for his combos. Only -1 on block, though, as a DP break. Very interesting. He's got the Blanka Ball, or I think it's called something else. well, it will be called something else. It's not going to be called blankable. Head spinning attack. Right, that's what it's, which is very, very good, actually. Like, this is -5, but only specific characters will actually be able to punish this because the spacing is like, it's universal, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't matter if you do this point blank, you always bounce off the same distance. If I do this full screen, like, I'm always going to bounce off full screen. So if someone tries to punish you, you can get a wild punish, get some good damage in. Like, for real. Like, this shit is going to be annoying for some characters to deal with. Because he's at a really good spacing. He can just backdash here, come back in. He can just hop. You know, he's got so much available to him. This heavy one is always punishable pretty much. But you can bounce off, maybe get some, you know, mind mix-ups. This is only if you're hyped up, though. Probably not going to use this heavy ball very often in pressure or anything. But yeah, I think the big part of these about the head spinning attack is that you can use it in the air. Using it in the air is very, very powerful. You can definitely mix up your jump angle, catch people mashing. And if you space it correctly, it can lead to some pretty big damage, to be honest. Let's say you catch someone whiffing their anti-air, they get counter hit. You get a whole ass 2C here, and yeah, I mean, it's decent, you know, it's good damage for like missing an anti-air. This has got like kind of weird variable frame data. It's impossible to tell how plus or minus you're going to be. Sometimes you're going to be punishable here, sometimes you're going to be safe. And yeah, it's kind of hard to judge, I won't lie. But for the most part, you can pretty much consider this to be safe. And if you're hyped up, you always got the splits kick, and that's always safe. It's only -3, so you can always play afterwards. So that's good. And obviously, if the EX blankable, you can do it while jumping back, which is very good. You can definitely catch a lot of people trying to catch your jump backs with this. And of course, you can cancel this or into whatever. The world's your oyster, basically. And yeah, I think definitely that's where his neutral's going to be kind of focused on, is these blankables. And also, if someone's trying to like whiff punish you, like, you can always break these really early, a lot earlier than you think, which could definitely mix up the opponent, definitely leave them wide open, which is pretty wild. But in general, I think this is probably a bit gimmicky. You can maybe bait out someone's high dodge attack if they're trying to beat the head spinning attack that way. But for the most part, you're going to be breaking this for like Oki and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly this air blankable is pretty tight. Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good tool for the character, to be honest. And then, of course, the meat and potatoes, he does have this knee strike. This knee strike, I think, is very good. Got pretty good at hitbox. Going to catch a lot of people jumping, especially this heavy one. And it's pretty easy to space to be safe. Like, it's pretty easy to space to be plus as well. I think that's where it's going to, like, a lot of its strength's going to come down to, like, this kind of stuff. It reminds me of Dan, like Dan from Street Fighter 5, if you guys remember. He had a very similar move with his Nitatsu. It was quite easy to make plus. And that was where a lot of his pressure reset was just doing this. And you kind of had to hold this pressure. And even if it's minus, guess what? He has really good guard cancels. A lot of his special moves are very fast. They make pretty damn good guard cancels. Like, this is 10 frame startup. Very good. And of course, he does have DP as well, so you can do a DP break, which is going to be quite good. It's very slow at 9 frames though. So honestly, most of the time, you're going to be better off going into Rekka. The reward is probably quite a bit higher for a lot less meter. And obviously, there's going to be some things you're going to want to cancel into blankable to punish, you know, think Billy matchups, that kind of stuff. But all in all, this character is kind of juiced. He's kind of juiced in terms of his special moves, definitely. And of course, he also has his supers. His supers are pretty good. Like this one, so you got to hit them to the rhythm. But they do a lot of damage if you do get it. 314 is no joke. That is definitely up there with some of the highest damage. Of course, I'm in SPG, so it's like 10% more. We can like take me out of SPG to see the actual damage. You do need some rhythm. You will mess this up sometimes, but like 280 is decent, man. That is a good amount of damage. Close normals, I mean, +3 is not great, and look at the pushback. It's kind of hard to make use of this. This is +2. Hey, again, it's really hard to frame trap with this. I'm not gonna lie, like, this is the problem. Really hard to frame trap with this. Pretty much can only frame trap with far B, but that's not what you want, right? So you're gonna probably look to frame trap other ways, but it's not good. Like his normals you're not going to be keeping the pressure on. Let's just say that. Close D into far B. This is probably your best bet for close range pressure, to be honest. Is this Rekka? This Rekka is gonna be interesting. There's a lot of mind games around it. There's a lot of mind games. Frame trap, like, okay, so basically all the follow-ups are gonna lose to mashing. Obviously, the low is actually a true string. The low is a true string. This is a true string, but you can delay both these follow-ups. It's really tight. The timing to frame trap is really tight, and I'll say the damage you get from it is kind of mid. And on block, obviously, all of these can be mashed against. But on hit, it's a different story. But on hit, this is actually counter hit, which is really big. Actually, if you ever get this, you get into far B, and then it be far D, and that's gonna be some good damage, right? Yeah, I think this Rekka is kind of hard to make use of. A lot of mind games you can do, but the risk reward just doesn't feel super in your favor. Never feels super in your favor. But it's very safe, so it's just like a good way to do it, and you can play a lot of mind games after it on block. And again, if you nail down this cancel timing to get the frame trap, you can definitely mitigate against the mash. And again, the reward's okay, right? Especially since you can follow up into this hit throw. Very strong. So, another thing, he does have a 2-frame super to punish DP breaks. Look at that. So just like Mary, he can punish DP breaks if you are very ready, I would say. But this is a very strong thing to have because DP breaks also very big. The level 2 one is 0 frame, right? It just hits after the super flash. So definitely got mix-up potential there. You'll see this often. And as someone who's played a lot of Blue Mary, this is pretty clutch. Like, it's very, very good. A lot of people will use DP breaks, but again, you have to know the matchup because on some DP breaks they can have enough pushback where it might whiff. So you have to be very cautious of that. But that seems good. That's really good for ducking. All right, well that's it. I think yeah, I think he's gonna have some shortcomings in the meta, but I think people will play him. I think he's got potential. He's got potential. I think he's got some of the best light conversions in the game. When you're hyped up, look at this. 206 damage off a light conversion is no joke, and it's a hard knockdown because it's a hit grab. Very big. This is really, really good. You can only do it while it's hyped up. It won't combo if you're not hyped up, so you need to be revved up to some extent. But like, look at this. Like, see, it won't connect unless you're hyped up. You have to be really cautious that as well, the hit doesn't take you out of hyped up mode. Like there, I hit myself out of hyped mode and then I dropped the combo. So yeah, there's a lot to pay attention to this guy. You're gonna have to really know your confirms, your rev meter. This will work, see. Yeah, really good, honestly. Like this light confirm, and it works pretty far out. There'll be some ranges it whiffs, but yeah, I think that's gonna be like really good. Like for a meterless confirm, how much damage is really, really big. But again, you gotta be hyped up. You gotta be hyped up.